Hello, welcome everyone. Uh, Welcome to our project, and the name of our project is PlannrAI Sync, AI-powered event planning and management. So our listed website. So talking about intro, this project was built for Therap Java Fest 2025, and myself SM Saidur Rahman. Currently, I am in my last semester studying in Prague University, the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. And my another group mate is Mohammad Niamatullah. He is in his last year and also from the same department. So what is Planner Sync, or what's the goal of or what's the problem it solves? So it is an intelligent RESTful event management web application or platform that combines interactive tools, AI recommendations, and real-time collaboration to make planning and executing events effortless. To make our life more easier, to fulfill our vision about our dream events with our favorite persons, with our close ones. So it brings intelligence, collaborative way, and convenience to event planning. One AI-powered platform to discover and book venues, connect with vendors, and collaborate in real time. No more juggling about multiple tools, multiple websites, or even multiple searches. So let's talk about our key features. Main features is the collaborative event planning and our RAG AI assistance, both in Bengali and in English, and interactive map to search your favorite venues. Even it will show your route from your location, and we can give to ratings and review to venues, to vendors, and live weather updates. And we have to make it more collaborative, we have introduced or we have integrated the real-time uh, WebSocket based chat system to talk about with your loved ones, with the vendors and all that. And another AI thing is our AI image studio, where you can generate pictures from your prompt, or you can reimagine a picture from your already given images. And also you can remove the background. I think we all know how important it is in our day-to-day lives for making our picture perfect social media pictures or posts. So let's start our project demonstration. So let's go to our website. This is basically a health checker to check if the backend was ready or not. So here is the front end page from the backend. This is our main landing page for the registered and unregistered customers. In the left below corner, you can see the PlannrAI Assist. Basically, this is for FAQ questions or other questions for the non-registered users. When we click it, it can take some time to load. So this is its interface. Here you can find the both English and Bangla, both things, and ask your question based on that. Here are some previews, and there's the support, and that's in English also. So if I press that, basically responds that with that questions. I can also ask a question based on that response also, as it replies or as it holds the context of the previous message, particularly in that instance. Just so here is the reply. I can ask about various questions like budgets, make a plan, or even give me some unique ideas to make this event more beautiful or more reliable for others. For example, give me some information about the vendors. It is passing the vendors like email, phones, set, ratings, numbers, also their previous services they provided, the price range, and all that. Uh, So when I ask a question in Bangla, it replies in Bangla, and if I in English, it will give reply based on English. There could be some kind of confusions, like when we pass key both Bangla and English. If I press if I press the famous near me button, then it takes to the interactive map. That's my location. You need to allow your location access when you pass when you enter in this page. So let me scroll here. So okay. So you can click on those particular checkpoints to see the name of the venue, and when you click the view date, it will ask for your credentials to log in. So there is from another one. Also you can select your planning or your location or your preferred location of your venue. And the other things are list your space. Then you can email for that. For configure plan is this basically for the vendors to register, and browser space is also good for this dummy kind of thing. So when I click the search button here, it will fetch the 12 generation data right now that we have in our DB. So when I click the view dates, it asks for the credentials. So okay, let me make a demo booking from here. So I'm entering my credentials right now. So the authentication is AWS based option. So this is the user homepage where I can select months, upcoming months like October, November, and December. Okay, and the interaction, it shows the book dates or the temporary holds of the selected dates. So let me select, and when I click the book dates, it will make a booking request. So it will come to my user homepage. So if I click the confirm button, it will wait for the admin's approval. I will show that in the admin tutorial session. Right now it's marked as pending review. I can also check its status. There is some other functionalities in user. Let me go through this, like sending mail to the collaborators, or sending mail or invite them with custom invitation card. So if I click the show route button, it basically show the route from my location to my desired venue. Also I can see the weather forecast. Right now it is not showing the temperature because it's so far from current day, but it can show data based from our API. If it is in 2 or 3 days, then it can show the temperature. That's pretty much in the user profile. Okay, we for collaborating effort, when we click the collaborate button, we can add vendors, then cooks, decorators, collaborators. Your collaborators means your loved ones, your friends, your family members. You can add their email, invite them all at once, or it will create a group chat for you guys. Group chat for the invited guys. So let me add a vendor like Royal Cooks. You can find the names from the chat history without talking to your AI. So I can add that and remove that. Also, the vendors mean there are different kind of vendors. You can see that, like photographers, wedding planners, or any other kind of vendors that can also be added. You can get information from that for the AI, talking with our AI for our chat. Also, we will add another viewer options also that. So from the past event section, I can rate and review the venues, then vendors or the other services that I do, and this will automatically update our vector database so that our AI can fetch that updated information. So this all happens concurrently. So let me So for more collaborative effort, our real-time chat WebSocket based, it can take 1 or 2 second delay to get connected. The connect with our the WebSocket channel. Here you can search by name or email for individual chat. Also for the group chats, the same you can search by the group name. Let me send a message. Okay, for the groups, these groups are created with collaborators automatically. Also we can create our own groups here, like giving a group name, entering a group name like a best birthday BD, then description, add participants. Here you can also add multiple participants by putting their names or the registered emails. Like I can add multiple also. So that's our own group. So here we can write our messages. So let's do a real-time chat. This I have opened one in our incognito and one is not in incognito. I can see the real-time messages between two people in a group chat. Also the same thing or same functionality for individual chats. Let me write. Let's plan the birthday event. Okay. So now let's go to our another AI part, the open planner AI studio for more structured or more directed AI prompts and other other ways like Imagine Studio and all that. Okay, let me go to the OpenAI Studio, and that's our extended AI for more structured prompts and image. So we have participated in two ways: Event Craft and Dream Canvas. So for the image things, we can choose these options like idea to image, reimagine studio, or background magic. And for the textual if art prompting part, we can go to the upper section, event craft like event invitation, event planner, or event name generator. So here I can select the event type and also the event date so that it can give me a event timeline. You if I have got a 7 days timeline, you can do these things in the first, this the second. So at the number of guests, then menu preference and the timeline, how much time I got, also another any additional information that I want to give. So let's wait for the reply. So here it is, the structured reply like date, time, guest count, budget, also preferred type and week by week planning, uh, then suggested convention halls. I can also download this plan, that particular response. Also, let me give me some more as I have the context here. So, some Bengali names for my event or suggest me venues also in my budget. I can also give a prompt like give me the best venue in with the best reviews. So here it is the response. Okay, it got three responses. So I can clear it for our new talking or new things. So event name generator, I can generate event names. Also event invitation, creating custom invite email invitation for sending it for sending invite to people. Now for the image section, if I go to the idea to image, basically I can write prompt here. Some uh, example prompts are also given. Sorry, I'm also given. Also the style suggestions like photorealistic, watercolor, minimalistic, or 3D render. Here are the example prompts. So let's click the festival setup. Okay, like it's vintage way. I click the generate image. it will generate the image here. Also some additional uh, tips you can follow to generate your image. So here it is. Okay, it's quite nice. Also I can regenerate. If I click that, it will regenerate on that same prompt. So in Reimagine Studio, here I can select the image. There are some constraints for uploading images, the size, the resolution. Otherwise, it will give an error. So here it's the response. You can also click the reimagine. If I click that, okay, it will give me another adding. I am looking for some more API to doing the reimaging thing, but giving more textual information also. So for the background magic, I can upload the image and separate the foreground and the background here. I can download that or process another one. Okay, now in the admin section, the request I have made for pending, right now I have got 3 pending reviews. I can approve them. I can also reject them with a custom message or the reason for the rejection. When I approve them, it will create that event for the, and then I can add the vendors there. I can also chat with my customers. Okay, so adding the vendors, when I add vendors or services, it creates chat between us, and it will show as a active vendors in our vendor page. So when we log in the vendor page with that particular ID, that is given to the vendors when they sign up for giving their services. So here it is. So I can again chat with the client, then add services, my recent services that I provide to other venues, like I have hosted a birthday, and the price range was in between, let's say, 20,000 to 50,000, and the experience with the vendors. So it basically update our database and also our vector database for our chatbot. So right now there is no event found for this service or for these vendors, but if it had any, it will show as an active service for that vendors. So let's go back to home again. For the technology part, our backend, of course, is Spring Boot, Spring Security, and we have used MongoDB DB, and we choose the Atlas version for its cloud compatibility and ease of access to use, and also code it in a collaborative way. No more hassle, especially in back database integrations. And for our AI part, we have used Fast API, Grok for our no, LLM models, and Nomic for our embeddings, and NLTK for the other natural language or text processing tools. For our front end, we have used HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Leaflet.js for our map. Also, we have used Email.js and other APIs. Also, for the database, it's MongoDB Atlas. And for the security sections, we have for authentication, we have used the JWT tokens and Spring WebSocket for our real-time chat system. And we have used several external web APIs. We will see that in a while. This is our overall system architecture or system overview. So here, this is our internal system, our whole web application environment, and this is our external systems for API callings and all that. So this is our client. Client basically interact with our front-end server, and we have got 3 server right now. And our database is MongoDB Atlas Online for its cloud application. And our front-end server is hosted in Render, and other 2 backend server. One is Spring Boot and another is Fast API. Both are hosted on Azure image container or Docker container. So our client interacts in the front-end server for things like APQs or other collaboration or menu tasks. and FAQs are can be directly accessed uh, by from front-end from our market page, and our other applications like event planning or our extended applications are used through our backend server. And for our external system, we have used for our email application, sending email JS, our uh, map and route showing are collected from Lift.js and OpenWeather for weather, and we both drop for our APIs used in the image studio and Grok for our LLM or RAG application. That's pretty much our overall system design. So yeah, now the part of code demonstration. So let's start with our backend first. So this is our backend. It is on IntelliJ IDE. So if I go to our main directory, that's in. So that's our application dot. Sorry, that's our application properties. Where we have our MongoDB URL connected, and we have tried to keep the the backend section fully modular, like admin, chat, configs, health, user, and venue. All are separate folders. So let me go to the config first. So here we have got the uh, this is our security configuration using Spring Security, and our JWT utils is this. So and the authentication filter, extracting and things and matching thing is done by here, and also our WebSocket configuration. This is our Spring WebSocket configuration. So this is admin control. Admin control we didn't implemented its feature so that it's that kind of features that needed its model or services or other packages. It can directly import the other things from the other directories and work on that. This is the chat section, and our for the chat model we have got chat. There's group chat, and there's is our message section. So our chat is basically one-to-one chat. Basically, it holds the instance of one chat, and the group chat basically holds the instance of one group, and the message is the one the messages. It can be a group chat or normal individual messages. These are not encrypted, but encryption would be added here so that admin or someone who has the access of our DB can't see those messages. Okay, let me go through one by one. That's our repo, and this is our service. So I have already showed the config one, and health. We tried to implement the health, but we have health container here by implementing the cold start thing in render as we shifted to Azure container, Azure Docker containers. So it's not needed right now. And for the I coming later venue here for the venue part, the models are bookings, then venue, and then weather. For booking, basically, when I am selecting a book and there the information of the vendors and other things will be stored there, we will that by the user here, and this is the venue model. And for the container, okay, for the venue ratings, the venue controller, then prediction controller is basically the weather API and services. Okay, that's the repo. And for the user, basically user, I mean the kind of users. One is business. Business means it could be vendors or cooks or decorators or other in future vendors that can be added here. And the controller section different. That's the auth controller, business controller, and rating controller, and the repository, and this is the service layer. So user services for customers or registered users, then business service for the vendors and other business rating service. Okay, so that's overall the whole backend, whole backend here, and that's our pom.xml. all the dependencies are injected here. Okay. Now let me go to the AI backend. So here this API, our backend was this was server side. This was client side rendered. So no HTML were passed down from here. But in our app, we mainly built it using the server side rendering. So basically, it renders and pass out the HTML here. So if I talk about that, that's our main API using fast API. Here are the necessary APIs. So right now, for simplicity, we didn't hide it, or we didn't shift it to config.js and config.java type something, but that can be done. Okay. So for its front end, I'm coming to later. So that's our ask endpoint. This is our image endpoint, our image section, image studio section. This is our image. These are images. That's remove background, and that's update vector store. So when someone gives a new ratings, or when gives someone gives new rating, or when someone updates its review, or any vendor updates it, so this got triggered, and this basically it is basically are the updates information are already in the database. So we iterate through the database and replace our text format, then we convert the text into JSON, and we again put that convert the text into updated text into JSON, and then we put that in our Mongo, in our Atlas DB. So if I go to the trigger section here, so basically we triggered it from when the service updates, like so right now this is okay. This is the section from where we can trigger it. We need to update the backend. We shift it into from render to we are in render for not having persistent storage. This could break the server. That's why in Azure it can be easily done. But right now this is comment out. Okay. So that's our config.write. Here we have right now we are using a Llama 4 Scout 17 billion model. We have used DeepSeek, then Llama 370 billion, Llama 3.1. But some of them are production grade, and some of them are in right now not production, so they get decommissioned anytime. That's the problem or challenges that we need to tackle right now. And talking about the whole RAG pipeline, if I need to say, that's our vector store. Basically, it basically convert our that's our from MongoDB. We can fetch this table and convert that to our JSON format, and that's our RAG backbone. That's our main system prompt that goes every time through the LLM, main LLM, before searching the vector database for contextual meanings. And okay, so as we are not using any kind of framework for implementing the uh, in context or previous message of that instance or particular instance, we have came up with a solution of making it summarize. So as we are storing that information or the chats, so we are also passing that here on summarizing it, so that the context window limit or the token per request limit do not cross. That's okay. Okay, that's we basically compress that and answer question. Basically, this is how we calling the backend. Sorry, our rag, and it is history, that updated one. That's the main function. And speed. Okay, that's everything for the data part. Okay, so and the front end is here, the AI front end. Basically, that's the landing page or FAQs. So all the FAQs are here. These are the Bangla one, and these are the English and Bangla both side by side. Okay, then that's a CSS. And for the studio part, this is the main landing page, and the main landing page and our idea to image, then background magic, then reimagine. Three of them got separate HTML files and but one CSS and script.js for this particular region. And for the tool section, here we the event name, then invite email, then event planner, then invitation email. There are some more tools. We discarded those. That's our Docker file. By that we build our images. And if I could show you the Docker image of our, that's our Docker file in our for our backend. That's pretty much everything in the AI section. Okay, for the front end. So we have got all the HTMLs there. We are not building it by Docker. We tried to, but it doesn't work like that. So these are the scripts. User search. That's real-time chat map configs. Here we can change our central backend API call. That's our localhost. Previously, our render format. Then collab search, chat.js, calendar showing or selecting the dates that can show the temporary hold date or past event or the in future holdings. That's the app.js. It's used by the index.html. Also index.html or the admin.js. So our index.one, that's the main landing page. It redirects through the index dot that's sorry, it will reverse. So that's our health checker. Basically, it check if the backend is okay or not. It works for it. It was meant for the render backend, remember cold start, but then for shifting, we don't need that, or we didn't redirect it. It basically shift us to the index.one. Basically, this index.one is quite big because at first it followed the SP architecture. Then we shifted to the different one. That's why it's little bit messy right now. Also, user.js and app.js, these two scripts can also be make more modular or separate from the right now settings. That's the script. Then in the styles we got the CSS, and in tools we don't use that. That's pretty much everything in the front end. So right now I am in render for my static web page or our front end section. I am hosting that in here, and our backend PlannrAI Sync is basically hosted on Microsoft Azure, and another one, our AI, is also hosted in Azure. And for using for calling these things, I am using Fastphone, doing them, pinging them after 5 minutes and 10 minutes interval. So and that's our Git repo. Right now it is private and learning stuffs. And of course, AI helped us a lot to learn that or also to develop it. And the next thing is the LLM or API tokens. API tokens. I think we have used 3 or 4 models where we're using one, the other's tokens got finished, or the TM or total max request got finished. So that was an hassle. We need to shift with multiple models. Of course, our overall the RAG pipeline is very slow, and there was memory issue. We handle that in a smart way. I will talk about. I think I have talked about it in the code review session. And we have a problem in our front-end code because we didn't use any framework here. So it is kind of scattered everywhere, and integrating or configuring this thing security was also a hassle, especially in the last moment we are having some trouble uh, dealing with some new endpoints, and so we tried to provide or maintain modularity and scalability while developing. It was tough, and there are more room for improvement. And there, I especially want to talk about deploy yourself fast. For deploying, we are having the local memory persistence storages for converting our database update and shifting and converting into JSON. We needed persistence. Local storage, talk about local storage is like a railway, then render, or its free tier were not that much great for that particular reason. Also in render we have that cold start issue. That's why using our university provided email, I opened I subscribed to Azure Stream Service and then subscribed our I subscribed our project to Azure Container. And that's pretty much there are more challenges, but the main thing is learning and applying and solving the problems. So talking about feature or scope, of course, in the React pipeline, making it faster using adaptive React and other React frameworks like LangChain, GraphQL, and then modern and responsive UI. We have a lot of to improve that field and using component-based architecture in the front end and also using React.js for our framework. And also, we can also fetch for Facebook events using MetaGraph API that would be more user friendly or you know, will let us become more collaborative if in collecting data from our nearby events, especially Facebook events, and of course ensuring scalability more and ensuring more security. That's all pretty much everything that and there are also more features scope to work on and that's pretty much everything. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for staying with us for this long. And that's all.